All right. Good afternoon. I'm back out here working on my on the boiler, and I've already this is the pressure release switch or valve that I was talking about, and I've taken it apart and made a drawing of it. And so, what happens when the pressure builds up inside the boiler? It pushes on this and releases the pressure. So that's there. And I was looking for, I need to build something to heat this thing up. So this is the tray out of my little steam engine I have in there with a tractor steam engine. It's got a handle on it and a tray. So I need to build one that'll fit in here. And so what I did, I took a sheet metal and cut it, and I have built this tray. And I used, so I cut it with my cut-off saw, and then I used my Dremel to put the little slots in it so I could bend the ends in. And I used this is my anvil that slipped inside there so that I could get my width. That made it perfectly 1 inch is what I did there. So that's what I got. And the plan here is, let me show you what I got here. So this is a Stirling engine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little container right here is what comes with this to fuel this. And I've got some of this wonderful leftover COVID-19 alcohol that went on sale for a long time. This is the second bottle of it that I've used. I've got quite a bit left in it. Anyway, so I'm going to put some of that in here. And so when you're going to build one of these, you got to have some fuel of some sort. I'll put a little bit in there. Try not to get myself covered with alcohol. So there's a wick. You got to get right in the spot. There's a wick, just like the old lanterns, and that's going to go in there. I gotta wipe that off. There's quite a bit of alcohol on that on my hands, and put that in place. And we're going to light that and see what kind of temperature I can get out of this. So if you can see it, I'm hoping you can see it. I got an orange flame right there right now, right here, and it's heating up this tube. And this is what you call a Stirling engine. It's pretty much like what you would call an external combustion, because the combustion is outside of the engine. But we're heating this tube up, and when it gets to the right temperature, it's going to start running, or I'll start it running. And what I'm looking for is the temperature. What kind of temperature am I going to get on that tube? Because in order for a boiler to work, I'm going to need more than 212 degrees to turn that water into steam. Waiting for it to get turned to blue. I may have to raise that wick. Yeah, my flame is yellow. So yellow is not hot. Blue is hot. Let me blow it out. And burn my fingers, probably. Maybe I can get the wick up with this. Normally what I would do is push the wick up from the bottom. It's probably pretty hot. Let's see if I can do it from here. So I raised the wick up because it had all gotten carbon right there. It's where it burned. Dry my hands again. We'll restart it. That's better. So if you can see the difference here, I still got a little bit of orange, but it's turning blue. And blue is much hotter than the orange as it burns the wick off. So let's get the temperature up. I need to get that alcohol off top there before I burn my garage down. Here, now it's done good. So it had to get up over 200 degrees to get that engine to run. And you can see it's picking up speed now. I'm at 275 on the bulb. And that's going to be, that'll be hot enough to turn water to steam. See if it goes up any higher. We'll let it run a little bit. So that's what I got to do. That's what I got to accomplish with this other tray. So you can see this tray, these two things is what I'm trying to make. I'm going to make this into a tray like this. Now this is 1 inch wide. This is I think 1 1/4 inch, 1.5 inch, and that'll slide. So you can see the alcohol is good fuel. I'm getting enough BTUs. Anyways, this is going to slide into here. And what I got to do next is I can trim this up a little bit maybe, but I got to get a handle on this of some sort. And I might drill a hole and put a nut or a bolt in there. This metal is much thicker than this one. It'd be nice if I could make a handle like this, but for ease of doing, I might just put I could make a brass handle put in here and be able to pull it out. I'd probably do something pretty nice. Anyways, there's my tray. That's what I need to make heat in here. And that little bit of alcohol that I put in this motor here. Now let me explain how that Stirling motor works. Maybe a lot of you don't know that. So this is an old idea that somebody came up with before the internal combustion. Everybody was working on stuff. So you have a piston in here, and we're heating up this chamber, and it's increasing pressure. It pushes the piston down. It releases, and then open and close. There's a valve in here. Open and close, open and close, open and close, and this is what makes this thing run. And it turns this flywheel. It's down and over in here. This is a magneto. I can actually put a light on here and run it. This is, I didn't make this. You can buy these things, but it's just unique. It's just a unique idea. And that thing will run. That thing will run half hour just on that little bit of fuel that's in there. That maybe a 1/4 inch in the bottom of this glass bowl. That thing will probably run a half hour. And it's running pretty fast right now. Which means I'm getting good temperature. Let's check the bowl or the bulb temperature again. Trying to get a good reading on it because there it is. It was 265 right there. 288. So because of the reflection I'm getting off of the glass, it's hard to get a good reading. Right there, where I'm just reading, we're not getting any reflection back off. It's 336. So I think I can build enough flame to heat up a boiler. So that's what I'm going to do next. Come up with a handle. Once I get the handle to this, then I need to come up with something to put inside here. Now that's a cotton wick. That would be nice if I could find something like that, but I may have to go to felt. And I don't know about sealing the ends of these or not. They look pretty sealed. And the way I made that, so I cut this out out of metal with, like I said, with my little Dremel, and I used the DeWalt first to cut it into the pieces I needed. I used the Dremel to cut these slots, and then I took my hammer and this in there, and just used that as an anvil to bend it over and get it into the shape I want. And now, like I said, I make a handle, come up with a wick, and I'll come back and we'll put some water in this boiler and see if we can make steam. But that's where I'm at right now. This is all fun and games. I'd like to know what the RPM is. This thing's getting is cranking up to pretty good speed. The little light system I have, I can put it on here and it'll flash the lights on and off. They just plug in on the back of this. Oh, right here, there's two leads. Right here on the side. Let me put on this side of it. There's a lead there and a lead there that has the output. You put the wire on that, it hooks the lights up. It makes light. They don't use this idea. I don't know if anybody's come up with a way. I think you could probably use maybe solar power to generate heat, but I don't know if it's efficient enough, because you're actually taking energy to heat up something to make energy. Kind of like gasoline going in an engine, I guess. The only thing is we're heating on the outside, so we're probably losing a lot. And I don't know about power. Let's just see how much power this thing has. Didn't take much to stop it. Yeah. Not a lot of horsepower there at all. All right, I'll be back. Let me come up with a handle and a wick, and we'll fire this thing up. I did find a little bit of felt. Let me move the engine out of the way. You can see this here. I've got this piece of felt in here. I've got some alcohol on it. I didn't put very much on there. What I want to do is see is this going to turn into a flame, or is it going to burn the felt? Because I don't know what this felt is made out of. Yeah, kind of concerned about that. It's burning it up. So that felt is synthetic. Yeah, that's not good. You're gonna have to come up with something with cotton or wool. It burns good, but you can see the yellow flame on it. Let's see how hot it is. Well, at the surface temperature, it's running 252, but it's going to consume that. That's what I was afraid of. So I got to come up with something better. I don't know if I can still buy wicking material. I'm going to have to look. I'm going to have to look online, or maybe go to a hardware store, if I can find a real hardware store, and see if they got the wicking for like a Coleman lantern, or the old kerosene burning lamp. That will not work. Alright, you can see my motor's still running. It's been running quite a while. I'm starting to see little bubbles on the bottom, which means we're almost out of liquid. It's going to shut off pretty soon. Alright, well, I'll be back. Alright, I found some wicking. First I want to show you what I made. I made this tray here, and then I made this handle. I got a wood handle here for insulation, and I had to put a spacer in there so it got more center. That's the brass piece. And then a guard here to help the heat not come out this end, but it go up through the sides. And then I had to buy this kind of wicking. This is wicking for an oil lamp. It's cotton. And I'm going to put that down in here. Let me get that down in there. Something like that. And then I also built a baffle because I don't want the wick to be my source of fuel. So I'll fill this with alcohol, and that should give me, and it'll come up through those holes. It won't be burning up the cotton, it'll be burning up the alcohol. So let me pour some alcohol in there. We're getting into the dangerous part. I've already put 4 ounces of water in the boiler. Gotta be careful. Yeah, this is what I want, alcohol. So what I've done, I've saturated the cotton with alcohol, and I'm going to light it. We ought to see a flame. Get my igniter. Then I'm going to slip that underneath the boiler. Let me make sure this screw is tight. Yeah. I got my valve shut off over here. So let's light it, baby. Okay, you can't see the flame, I don't think, but it's burning. So I'm going to slide that in there, and we're going to watch for temperature rise. Probably going to take quite a while. I'm going to take a temperature reading right now. I'm showing 120 degrees on the side, so I'm definitely making some heat. What we're going to watch for is when it gets up over 200 degrees, I should be able to start seeing some steam come out on the other side. Oh yeah, there's heat coming around that nicely. And I can see the flame down there, so it looks like it's not burning the cotton. It's burning the alcohol off the cotton. I hope I have enough alcohol. I might have to put another layer of wicking in there. But we'll work our way through that. I think the real thing I need to watch is down here on the end as the temperature goes up. I think I'm going to go ahead and open this valve this first time around. I don't know how long it's going to take. In fact, I should be watching that. How long does it take to heat up 4 ounces of water to steam? I'm going to let the video run, and she can always cut it short. You can smell some of the paint burning off. Nice flame down there. We're at 100 degrees down here. Got to keep an eye on it. This is the real test. Got to go about another 80 degrees. You see the smoke coming off of it? That's the paint and the Probably some of the stuff off the bottom of the boiler. Any oil residue or anything I left on it. See how our temperature is going on over here. Yeah, we're we're hot. The heat coming up around the side here is 500 some degrees, according to this. We might be getting steam pretty soon. Down here in the end is probably my best reading. Showing 150. Hasn't been 5 minutes yet. Starting to see bubbles over here. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm starting to see bubbles. Which means we're starting to boil. It's hot. I think I've already lost my flame. Yep. I've already lost my flame, so I might have to add another wick so I got more alcohol. I was just starting to get to boiling point when my flame went out. So I can add another piece of wicking, maybe 2 pieces, to increase the fuel capacity. I didn't want to put too much. I wasn't sure what I needed. I don't know if you can see that, but there's definitely steam coming here. getting closer. Boy, we're right there. Right on the edge of it. So I gotta be making more pressure than I'm releasing. Still got good flame. I may have to close that valve. So you can see my energy's leaking out right here. All right, I'm going to try closing the valve. I was hoping I could make enough power here. You got a whistle going on. Come on. It's almost there. It's got a high pitch. I don't know if you can hear the high pitch or not, but it's there. Lost my heat again. I could use Coleman fuel here. I mean, camp stove fuel. I'll put a little liquid in there this time, I think. I don't know about that. Bad part about an alcohol fire is you can't see it. So you got to be very careful using alcohol. So I'm thinking I could put more wicking in there. It's kind of hot to mess with right now, so I got a flame going again. I was to the point where I had a, let's see if I can turn this. We're right on the edge of steam. Now what I don't know is I can hear. I don't know if you can hear that whistle. It's pretty loud. And my hearing's not that great. I may not have a good enough seal over here. I may have to rebuild some pieces to make it tighter. Because when I got the valve here, it's blowing around it. When it's supposed to blow around on in this point, you can see it's supposed to be coming out here. Here it's supposed to be going in this piston and making this running. The good news is my boiler's holding up. Bad news is I might have a steam engine that needs some repair. It'll take higher pressure to make it work. I was hoping I could get it right here. I still got flames, so I'm going to keep going. The steam's starting to get here. I don't know if you can see it here. It's coming out pretty good right now. It's going to take that pressure to get this thing running. Come on. It's trying. It's running longer. I think I'm just losing too much through this valve. I run it backwards. No. Definitely works better this way. Sounds like a tea kettle. So I haven't built 15 pounds of pressure yet. This has not released. My loss is over here. It's shooting out the back here. I don't know if we got something to show you. Make it stand out better. Maybe that would make the steam show a little bit better how it's coming out of there. I can't build enough pressure. Right, my flame's going out again. So, well, the boiler works. I might try to rebuild that valve. mean, so what it does is this: the steam's coming out of here, and there's on the end of there's a maybe a 1/4 inch with a slot in the center, and as this comes forward, it closes the steam off here, and then when it passes through here, it pushes the steam into here, which moves this piston, which moves this shaft, which moves the drive shaft. So it's on off is what it's doing, and that's why you're seeing it popping. The same thing on the back. You can see it puffing. So I've lost my flame again. Well, there it is. I'm gonna debate about what I'm gonna go next. It's still blowing. It's blowing steam out pretty good right now. We never got to 15 pounds of pressure because we're losing it over here. So I can, like I said, I can take this off, this rod off here, and maybe rebuild the end. I don't know. I don't know how bad everything's wore out, and I don't know if I want to go that far into this rebuilding it. But we've got a working boiler. We've got a working valve. We've got a this here. I will put some more cotton in there, and then you can see. You can see it didn't burn the cotton up, which is what I was looking for. You can see down here where it charred it, where it's not exposed, but it's the alcohol is going in there. And I may try a different fuel. Maybe I'll try the fuel for tiki torches. Let me try that right now. I still got a hot boiler. Let me try that. I got some oil right here. We're going to try it. I've got some tiki torch fuel here. I don't blow myself up. Maybe it won't evaporate as fast. We'll give that a try. All I can do is start a fire. I don't know if it'll burn as hot. It don't burn as good. Nah. That I couldn't even get it to light because I need a wick. So it's got to be burning the wick to make it burn the fuel. The fuel doesn't vaporize easily. It wicks up and burns the fuel. All right. Well, that's what I got. I think I'm going to end this video here and see what direction I'm going to go next. I got completed everything. I got a boiler. I can make steam. I had it coming out over here. That was one of my goals. This probably would run. You can put air pressure on here and run this thing with a small compressor. But this maybe wore out too far, and I may take the time to put a valve in it and try it. I mean, I got the lathe. I just have to turn a small piece and make it tighter to keep the steam forced into the piston, because I'm not getting steam out of here. I'm getting steam out of the back of this where it should be sealed, and that's where I'm at. So it was an interesting thing to work on. I went back in and added another wick and raised it up, and that tiki fuel that I put in there, you can see what it's done. It's made this all black, and it did get to temperature. I put alcohol back in on top of the tiki fuel, which made it burn, and it sooted everything up. But my temperature went up too. I was up to 239, and so I could not get this thing to work the way it's supposed to, and I think it's because of the valve. So that's where I'm at now. I'm going to let it go at this. Look at the soot mess I made. I'm going to have to clean that up now. This is really hot right now. I had steam everywhere, and I had black soot. Smelled like citronella. Okay, I didn't give up. We went ahead and did a couple modifications, and you can see it's running. I did end up blowing the pressure relief valve. The nut came off the bottom, and it shot straight up in the air and put steam up about this high. And that's one thing when you're working with steam, you got to be very careful because it's super hot. And you can see it blowing out over here and over here. And I don't know if we can get the temperature of the steam or not, but it's hot. Yeah, that right there, when that's working, it's 158 degrees, so you can burn yourself pretty good. But there it is. It's working. Boiler's working. We had a leak over here. We ended up changing this line, and I ended up rebuilding this piece. It's got an oval hole on the one side and a round hole on the other side, and that's the shaft that the rod runs through. I'm starting to slow down, but there it is, running on alcohol. If you enjoyed what you see, give me a thumbs up and tell others about it. And I thank you very much for watching.